No.
Our guests are such divas. Oh my God.
Maybe I should put hats on everybody.
Oh,
see.
let's.
Let's see if I
Can
can
you
do
put
it.
like a shark face on me?
I don't know if it'll let me do it.
Baby shark, 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 shark.
No. I don't know if I can do it with that one. Oh, the effects are on the side. Let's not. Let's just start
Okay.
the video. We are recording right now anyway,
we
but
are.
yeah, let me hit okay, so we're gonna do this and that, and then we go click.
That and
Hey
that stuff.
folks, how you doing? Then we're gonna hit stop. Then we're gonna start again so I know where to put it.
So I don't have to do anything right now.
Right now? No, you can just sit back and Meagan. Absolutely. 3, 2, 1. Folks, welcome back to Toasting to Business. Lynn,
I know, 2 weeks in a row I've
got
been
you.
here.
and we got Meagan
I
here
know,
too.
I know.
And this is awesome. And we've got this delish.
Refreshing cosmopolitan
So good.
adult
So-
beverage.
Yum. You know, people are sitting there, they're going, what's going on? Why is there only like one screen right now? And what the heck? If they watch the videos on YouTube.
Right.
But we had snow again this week.
We did. And I'm done. I'm just done.
Really?
I can feel myself emotionally and mentally going back 25 years to
Why?
living in Northern Ohio.
Yeah.
Depressing. Yeah. Gray, cold, ick.
There's a beautiful sunset going on out
Oh,
there
okay.
right now.
Yeah. This afternoon, like what, for the 1 hour?
Oh,
The sun came out.
It was 2 days of a little snow and cloudiness. Come
Well,
on.
we couldn't go anywhere because there's no salt trucks, there's no plows, like stuck at the
Yeah,
house.
it's a great excuse to stay home.
Well, I already stay at home to work,
Okay.
so God, I'm like going crazy. Oh, so okay, I got to leave the house for the first time in 36 hours,
Yeah.
48 hours. Yeah,
By coming.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But your dog loved the snow.
it did. She did. She tried to eat it like as it was coming out of the sky, and then realized it was on the ground and buried her nose in it and started licking it. So it was adorable.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she loved it. She went crazy.
Well, one of our sponsors is here with us, which is fabulous. So, right, Meagan, you're here with Perspectiv, and we do have other sponsors. So let's just take a minute and let's hear a word from our sponsors. And we're back. Lynn,
Yes,
I have a question. Do you know who our guest is today?
yes, I have
Would you like to introduce who our guest is today?
Megan's Kirchhoff. I got it right. I have a hard last name. You do too. I get it. But thank you for coming on. Like you said to me when you saw me, I haven't seen you in it seems like a year. Really, it seems like a long time since I've seen you. So thank you for coming.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. And our drinks. Thank you for
Yes,
making our
you're
drinks
welcome.
today. Yes.
Yummy, yummy, delicious. Yummy, delicious. So we let people are like, okay, so why is Meagan back sitting in front of the microphone and not filling in as Lynn as a co-host?
Because Lynn's not on a business trip. She's actually here.
So why is Meagan sitting here, Lynn?
Megan is going to fill us in on what she has been doing, what's going on with Perspectiv these days. Because there's some big news. I've been watching, I've been hearing
Really?
the posts on LinkedIn, and you've been recognized for a few things.
And you guys were on Wall Street, you're released,
Mhm.
your IPO, and
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. You've got a lot going
I
on.
haven't
Yeah.
heard about this.
you haven't heard about the IPO.
Wait, am I reached out?
The SEC
All right, I
needs
gotta
to
go.
talk to you. Raised a bunch of money, don't care what I'm doing with it. But, phew, we're out. Yeah, well, great, thanks. Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
What have you been doing? So we had you on the podcast a while back. A while back.
It was in the
While
summer.
back.
It was probably August, I think.
No, way back when.
Oh,
We're erasing
prior.
Okay.
Okay,
The watermelon.
got it.
Prior- Yeah, not the watermelon.
The
episode.
watermelon episode. Got it.
The real one that we did with her. And then she became the sponsor.
Mhm.
Boom, boom, boom. But you have a company called Perspectiv, and it's Perspectiv without an E at the end. Your website is getperspectiv.com. And so fill in those who don't know what that is first. Because you've also tweaked it.
Have I?
over
I'm trying to
the years.
remember. I'm trying to remember because we did the first podcast so long ago.
Yeah.
Like, what has changed? I know a lot has changed, but I can't remember when we did the last
Okay.
episode.
So way back when you started Perspectiv.
I didn't even have a school yet.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Perspectiv, at that time, Perspectiv was tailored for individuals who are looking for new careers. Holy crap, why don't you interview me about Perspective?
He's a super fan.
So that's really where it was. And then the school started coming into it. That became something.
Yeah.
So tell people what Perspective is, please.
So Perspective is essentially an online career day. So it is a place where students or children, if it's just parents purchasing the platform, can go and see all these different careers. And it's a lot more expansive than just career day in school, where the parents would come in and it's usually people from your local community and a lot of the careers you've already heard about. So we have people from 10 different states now. I've interviewed people in 10 different states. And weird stuff, like not stuff you hear every day, right? Like the ice farmer gets a lot of attention.
Blacksmith.
FBI hostage negotiator, thanks to you too. And a crisis communications expert. Blacksmith, window tinters. People are always surprised to learn that window tinters can make six figures without a high school diploma, which I mean, you probably should need a high school diploma, but if you don't have one, you could go look like for me to enjoy it. Do I have classmates that would enjoy it? How might AI impact this industry in the future? So that curriculum, it goes along with the careers as they're learning about them. Yeah, and the idea is that by the time they reach high school, they've learned about 200 or 300 careers that they've otherwise never heard about.
Dang. So when you interview people, do you have kind of a prescriptive list of questions you ask? So your interviewees are answering very similar questions so that the kids can literally compare and contrast to one career to the other because the questions are so similar.
Yes. Yeah, and that way too, it makes it easy to navigate on the platform because you're like, okay, well, blacksmithing sounds cool, but how much money do they make?
Yeah.
So you can navigate to that question and just watch that portion of the video without having to sit through like a whole video that maybe, if it makes a certain amount, maybe you're not interested in it.
Sure.
But yeah, it's usually we talk about like responsibilities in the job, pros and cons, obviously, misconceptions about the profession. How does it affect your lifestyle and your family life?
That's big deal.
Flexibility of your schedule, like what kind of hours do you work? Of course, how much money do you make?
Right.
Advice that they have. I usually get general life advice because that's stuff that our parents always tell us, but sometimes you hear it from somebody who is not your mom or dad. And you're like, oh, okay.
It sticks a little more sometimes when it gets reinforced by somebody else.
Yeah. Does that, I answered your question.
Yeah. So the kids, they can go through, do their own inventory, look up at their own interests, so to speak. I mean, I remember in high school, I was given this, here's the U.S. Department of Labor list of all the jobs you could possibly have, and they are ranked by how much you can earn. So you go, here's the book, go. There was no internet then, by the way. It was the Pleistocene era. Here's a book, go look it up, look up 3 different careers, look up what kind of education you need, how much you think you're going to make, where most of the jobs are located, and then do a report on it. It didn't tell me anything.
School library had that, that catalog.
Yeah.
It was like, what? That was like going for colleges too.
Yeah.
They had these catalogs, and you're like trying to find the one thing in the appendage and go find the schools that had those things. This is so.
Is my head about to pop off?
No, what's going on?
This is the example I always use.
Okay,
I was
good.
interested in airplanes and space and all of that. And so I went on the Bureau of Labor Statistics website on a gateway computer, I remember. You could let the thing dial up and then go make a cup of tea or whatever.
A gateway computer that
Yeah.
you got it in a box
Like
and it had
a cow.
It had the cow
Yeah.
on the outside.
I love those things.
But I remember looking at the jobs and I was comparing being a pilot to being an aerospace engineer. And I saw that aerospace engineers, like their mean income was $20,000 or it was a little bit more than pilots. So it's like, okay, aerospace engineering, that's what I'll do.
Not Delta pilots.
Right. And then, but you don't know that. And so like, I always use this as an example because think about the contrast in lifestyle. right? An aerospace engineer is in a cubicle from 9 to 5, more than likely.
Mhm.
The pilot, you're traveling the world, you're talking to other people, you're interacting. Why do we not factor that in
Yeah.
when we're trying to make a decision?
The lifestyle part of it. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and that's really important if you are an extrovert or an introvert or a little bit of both. What kind of career do you go after at that point? I mean, as when I got out of college, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do sales. Everybody's doing sales. Sales has good money. I'll get a company car. Hated it with capital H. It just wasn't me. It wasn't something I wanted to do. And so, back to the drawing board.
Your feedback that you get from people, and maybe it's different for adults versus kids. What are the priorities that or the questions, the number one and number two questions about careers? Is it money or is it lifestyle? Because kids, I don't know that kids know what it is. To me, I think that's more of it would be a money thing. Like, man, I can make this much by doing this job. Do they ask that lifestyle question at all?
So I have yet to be in the classroom with it being used,
I don't. Are you getting feedback?
Yes. So the way the curriculum is laid out, there's a teacher's guide, and that walks them through, like, it's already pre-laid out. You're going to do these 32 careers this year with the students. So they do one a week, and then every week they complete that reflection worksheet that asks them those questions. And then halfway through the year, they have a recurring themes worksheet. And so that has them go back through all those reflection worksheets, and then they try to pick out, like, find a red thread. Am I gravitating towards things outside? Am I gravitating towards things where I get to work with other people? And so, yeah, I guess to answer your question, I haven't been in the classroom where a kid's been like, oh, I just want to know about the money part, but the curriculum is intended to force them to think about those other things.
And I know we're jumping like all over the place from the first question, but
that's typical of us.
I know. But okay, so they say this is with second, third graders in the classroom. You said, here's this thread, they've got something that they can like attach onto. How are the schools able to facilitate that interest in those kids for those careers throughout the rest of their education before they like leave high school? Has anybody thought about that, or no?
No.
So
but that's a
nothing.
great thing that I could work on. I think I could work on that.
You're welcome.
But right now,
That idea only cost you a 6-pack of beer.
No, one
No, last
cosmopolitan.
time it was 50 grand. This time,
wait, do I have
this time it's, oh, no, you owe me.
Oh, we just did an IPO, so I got you.
That's a big thing, because it's like you get this 1 year, a couple years.
Yeah.
Are you finding that the schools are using it for a particular grade level and that's it? Like it's a one and done? Or when you're on board, when a school takes on Perspective, are they using it at multiple grade levels?
Multiple grade levels. What I've learned is that high school doesn't allow a lot of time to do career exploration, which is crazy, because that's kind of
because
like,
they'd rather jam stuff that kids will never use.
There's a lot of test prep. It's prepping for the ACTs, it's prepping for the SATs, college applications, it's all of that. So the place that Perspective has sort of found a home is elementary school and middle school, because in elementary school specifically, they're required to do some sort of career awareness. And so I think at that age, they're a little young to be, like when this year maybe you wanted to be a dentist, and next year maybe you want to be, I don't know,
firefighter.
It could be a rock and roll dentist.
A rock and roll dentist.
Yeah.
I gotta go see Tommy next week. So, but when did the light bulb moment, when did the transition come from Perspective? Because originally I think you were skewed more towards adults and helping them find a new career of, I don't like sales, like Lynn said.
Where do I go from here?
Right? And in the videos, and when did you go, oh shoot, I'm going to start tailoring this more towards education and the younger generations who
when the school started giving me money first. That's kind of, so it started as like, just as you said, and then I went into the homeschooling market, that was incredibly difficult as a startup because I don't have money for advertising. And then the homeschool expos are very expensive to get a vendor booth. And then I also learned that homeschooling parents are very hands-on with their kids, obviously, and they know exactly what their kids like and don't like. And so when I would have these conversations with the parents, they're like, well, my kid's interested in marine biology and archaeology. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have those careers on there yet.
Yeah.
And then it's trying to, is somebody going to pay a subscription to have, they don't necessarily need to do like this broad career exploration. Their kid's interested in these two things.
Mhm.
So they only want to watch those two videos.
I think
And
you
then-
got a limited amount of homeschool parents. Those are probably the really controlling ones who are like, this is what my kid wants. And there's a lot of them out there. I think there's probably more of a majority. I think you were talking to the minorities. And there's a lot of homeschool parents who, shit, they don't know what their kids are doing. They're like, I want to get my homework done. I want to play video games.
And I will say, I have talked to hundreds of homeschooling parents, and that is a trend that I noticed, but it's not, it's not every homeschooling parent. So I think the product is still really relevant.
And there are
to
a bunch of
homeschooling families.
vegetarians too. No, I'm kidding.
Homeschooling families.
No, way back when, way back when. Nowadays, it's a lot better thing. I'm not vegetarian, and I homeschool both my kids.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Really?
Not all along, but
And
Wow.
explains so
like
much.
It does explain a lot.
for me or my kids. No, in high school. I mean,
Nice. Well, yeah. Yeah.
they actually really liked it a lot more, like the pressures of going to school.
Oh, the social.
Especially
pressures. Yeah.
As girls,
Yeah. Yeah.
having two daughters and like getting, you're wearing that today? Or
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you watch another kid come up and go to the back of the shirt and look at it, to look at the label to see what your
Oh,
daughter is
wow.
wearing,
Oh, wow.
see what brand of clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a whole
so
lot.
my oldest came to us, said, I want to homeschool. All right, let's figure it out. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So anyway, back
But yes,
to,
the homeschooling market is I still have an option on there for people to purchase a membership.
Mhm.
And I just haven't, being one person trying to do everything, I haven't, it's like I had to choose, right?
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
chose the one. I'm like, okay, I have an advisor who's amazing, and he's like, which one are you making money from?
Mhm.
And it was the school. So
There you
okay,
go.
let's focus, double down on that.
Mhm.
And then with that revenue coming in, I can produce more videos. That way that when the homeschooling parents do look at it, there's a
Sure.
better chance that I have something on there that they want.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's shift over to the schools. How many schools have subscribed to Perspective?
16.
16.
Ask me
Woo!
how many are using it.
How many are using it?
It's a single digit.
say 16, because the boards are listening.
I know, 16.
It's in the singles, but they've signed up.
single.
They
This
just
is-
don't know how.
This is the issue. It's like I realize you have to sell it twice because I talk to the administrators and they're like, this is fantastic. We've always needed something like this. It's better than this thing we're using. It's better than that thing we got rid of. It's the perfect solution. They buy it and the teachers just don't have time to implement it.
Okay.
So it's like now I have to go and I have to talk to the teacher and I have to sell it to them, but in
Yeah.
a different framework. I have to be like, this is going to save you so much time because A, B, and C.
Right.
And it does. And the ones that are using it are saving time because normally they try to scour the internet for
Oh,
career videos.
cobble things together
They try to
themselves. Yeah.
cobble lessons together. And like with the platform, it's already made. You just have to literally you download the PDF and all the links are on there. You
Yeah.
just click on the video you're supposed to watch.
Mhm.
Done.
How many are in Georgia?
How many schools in Georgia?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I just have 17. Yeah, 5 in Georgia.
Did you get
7
one
in
today
Arkansas.
when you're
Oh,
selling in
that's a
Arkansas?
different thing. Oh, we're doing custom videos.
Wait,
Oh.
we'll get there.
Okay,
Okay.
7. Okay, so 7 in Arkansas.
And in Colorado?
Oh,
Never
Or
followed
in
up with my sister, huh?
I did.
Okay.
She ghosted me.
Oh, whoa.
Carrie.
Carrie.
It all comes out.
Oh. Well,
Whoa.
if you want to test in a Florida school district, I can put you in touch with my daughter, who's a teacher down in
Where in Florida?
Jacksonville,
Cool.
Orange Park.
Brevard County?
No,
Okay.
Duval.
Yeah,
Duval.
I would love that. But I'm like
In
really
Clay County.
focused on Georgia. Like
Okay.
it's all about
Mhm.
Georgia this year.
Good.
And even like the schools that aren't actively using it in other states, I think I'm just gonna let them go because I got the thing about being in Georgia. I can walk into a school and be like, let me demo this for you. Let me
Sure.
run a class for you. Let me show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Let
And
me-
otherwise you have to travel.
Yeah, and
to
it's
the other
really
states,
hard
yeah.
and like it's not that they don't want to use it. They're just incredibly busy and
Mhm.
they perceive it as, oh, this is just another software I have to learn to use.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
know, so being able to be here and go visit the schools is really helpful.
Yeah. I
And
feel
build
like
those
that's-
relationships too.
Have you ever had requests? So here in the Atlanta area, it's all about logistics and supply chain. Do you have special requests like, hey, we know we're going to need more people in logistics and supply chain?
Got a
Can
long haul
we-"
trucker on.
Did you get a long haul
Yeah,
trucker?
a
Okay.
heavy hauler. So
Heavy hauler.
he hauls jet
Jet engines, yeah,
um,
the big heavy
yeah, military
generators.
vehicles.
Yeah,
It's
tanks.
really cool.
Yeah.
But yes, so we're like naturally shifting to this thing that I was about to
Okay,
crazy on.
bring it on.
We're doing custom career videos with Putnam County and Catoosa County. And so
Okay.
Catoosa County, actually, I'm going up there the third week of February.
God bless you too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Catoosa.
And we are focusing on logistics, cybersecurity.
Okay,
We did some videos on machine tooling, CNC operators.
that is huge.
Huge.
Yeah, there's a huge demand, and that's some serious money
Yes.
too.
It's
Yeah,
fantastic, and the kids need
Yeah.
to know about it. And so they
Mhm.
have the College and Career Academy up there, and so it's a way to introduce the Catoosa County students to, hey, there's these career paths,
Yeah.
but we also have a pathway that you can do while you're in high school and graduate with a job,
yeah,
a great job.
right, yeah.
do you remember way back when we were, now maybe it was different when you grew up
Darren,
in,
you and I are not that far apart in age.
I know, but it might have been different in OH.
I know. Hey,
So-
they won the national championship.
You don't give two flying F's
I
about
know,
that?
I know you do. Right?
Sorry, Notre Dame, you just didn't have the firepower. I didn't,
They did.
everybody, they're like, who do you think's going?
$10,000 for 2 tickets. You heard that whole thing.
No, let's not go over
All
it.
right,
We're
we're not
talking
going
about-
there. Yeah.
But way back when we were in high school and junior high,
Mhm.
you know, it's like everybody else was in certain classes and it's like, oh, those kids are going to shop.
Yes, it's called
Right.
vocational
Or they're
education.
going to
Yeah.
VOTEC for
shop
that.
class. Yeah.
And
yeah.
now you go, okay, well, those kids that you were like, they weren't smart enough to do these other,
Yeah.
or they were taking the rudimentary classes
Mhm.
and you know that they're going to go out and be a blue collar worker for the most
Yeah.
part. And it's like, yeah, the blue collar is the white collar of today's society.
Mhm.
So they're all going, suck at bitches. I know what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
I'm a plumber
Yeah, I'm
now,
making.
and I just made
Yeah.
250.
But those were different times then too.
They
Like
were.
I grew up in the Cleveland area and the steel business was still sort of a big deal in the auto industry, but it was starting to wane a little bit. But there was still that need for some, a little more educated, a little more experienced people to go into that industry. And now it's like something totally different. But yeah, times were much different then too. Whereas now, I've heard of kids that want to go on to be a nurse, go into the medical field, and they're taking classes through Clayton State on phlebotomy and some of the basics. They're college classes while they're junior and senior in high school. And then they go to college and they've got like a year and a half under their belts already, which it's genius. It's just absolutely
But you don't
genius.
have to move. I know, but other jobs that in the craft and trades come out and you start, I mean, you might work, but you also have an apprenticeship. Those are becoming, I mean, that's still a thing.
Yeah.
People don't know what an apprenticeship is. And it's
Right.
like, that's a big deal when you're an electrician
Mhm.
and and you cover a lot of that with your curriculum and careers that people can do. And it's cool. So the schools, you're tailoring these videos to
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
I am. So that stuff. And then
Yeah.
also the part of the reason we're doing custom videos is just to make the videos really like directly relevant to the students and to that community.
Mhm.
And so I know in Putnam County, we're going to be working with the Chamber of Commerce and seeing
Yeah,
what,
neat.
what types of businesses need employees. And hopefully it'll be like this nice symbiotic thing where
Yeah.
everybody helps everybody.
Yeah.
Kids get jobs, the employers get great talent.
Right. And the kids stay in the community. They don't, They don't leave, and they're building that community. They're
Yeah.
staying there and working there. Yeah, that's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you.
You need to go down to Savannah and like get in with the shipping industry, because Savannah's like the largest deep water port on the East Coast.
That's because of Kings Bay
Yeah,
down there.
yeah.
Because they had to dig it so deep for
The
the
submarines.
submarines.
Yeah, but next to LA, like Savannah's just as busy as LA.
I have a side question.
Yeah, what's that?
Did you guys talk today and be like, hey, what are you making for a beverage? And then
Does it match Lynn's
dress
sweater?
it up.
I know, I know. I noticed that too earlier. I'm
I'm
like,
very-
dang, I'm so colorful in the middle of winter.
So this is a lot of change that you've had in the past couple of years.
I didn't realize until you started like asking questions, like, wow, I guess a lot has happened.
Yeah, but I want to know one question that I don't think you answered completely yet was, did someone from the schools approach you and say, I've seen your videos, I like this. Do you have something for the classroom? Or was this just an idea, like a different phase that you were working up to
For the curriculum?
for Perspective? Way back when you started it,
Oh,
did you always have school classrooms in mind?
yes, I
Okay.
did. I just thought it would be easier to sell individual subscriptions because I was like, schools, there's so much red tape, there's so much bureaucracy, it's so hard to get through. And it is, and it's a really sick, like slow sales cycle.
We figured out how to
So long.
get you in there faster though
Yeah.
yesterday, didn't we? Take advantage of it. You're a female.
Oh, yeah,
Check those two boxes.
and I'm a minority.
Hey,
I'm
now.
only half a minority though.
But hey, go
But-
for it.
Both
Let's
your
go.
parents
Yeah,
are.
go for it.
Yeah, it's just 50 Shades of White. Yeah.
Female, a minority. Hey,
Yeah,
work it. Yeah,
the only way you can get in faster is if you have part of Native American in.
I know.
Just
I
sail
know.
through anything.
Eskimo.
So many people think I'm Native American though. Wait, I feel like we're not allowed to say that.
Why not?
It's indigenous person.
Indigenous person. Okay,
Yeah.
I like.
I
yeah,
got
like that.
corrected.
The people who were here first.
Mhm.
Yes. So
Mhm.
when I braid my hair, people think I am an indigenous
Okay, I can
person.
see it. I can see it.
And when I'm tan.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah.
So you got this going on with Clayton County and you're doing that and
Catoosa.
Catoosa,
I've never a chew.
Clayton Connect.
Catoosa.
it's a boomerang joke. It just came in my head.
Yeah.
How do you were doing a lot of videos back when we first interviewed you. Like you're like, man, I'm videoing these people. I got to do this, blah, blah, blah. And we chat about something. You're like, I have to spend the whole day. I got to come to lunch and go because I've got like 30 hours of video that I've got to edit
Oh man.
here and everything else. I'm assuming this is scaled down because how many videos can you keep adding? How many new on your website? It's really cool because you have all the different clusters and they're labeled correctly. So when it's like, I'm interested in this field. Well, it's under this cluster. I'm interested in this. It's under this cluster. Are you planning to add more? Are you good with the ones that are there? And you're like, I'm missing a couple of videos here and there. Which you got a lot on your plate. You seem to be busy and always late. Not that rhymes. I didn't even
God,
realize
that
that
is a
rhymed.
stab. Not in the back. It's right in the front.
I'm not late to most things.
That just you hang out with us. No, but you have a lot going on, and you were doing a lot of video work. Is that like coming down a little more? Do you feel like you're in a good place with Perspective, with the videos in each cluster, or do you need some more?
I always need more.
Okay.
But I'm in a good place because there's enough on there for the teachers to have more than 2 years worth of material.
Wow.
So I have two teachers guides built out. I'm like halfway through building out the third one.
Wow.
So, but I think I'm going to start ramping it up again because I did slow down because I was like, okay, nobody's requesting more. I can focus on other things. But trying to think of what it's called. It's my brain called.
Mm.
The State Workforce Board released the new high demand career list. There's about 264 careers on it. I might have like
Whoa.
30 or
High
35.
demand.
Yes.
What?
I know there's a lot on it, but I'm gonna make a video for every career on that list, and there won't be a school in Georgia that won't buy Perspectiv.
260. I didn't know that this
Yeah, I know,
so
neither did I.
high demand jobs.
Can you,
So-
what are some of them? Do you remember?
I remember one is a glazier, Glazier.
That's for Windows, right?
Apparently,
Yeah,
I'm learning a lot. Baker was on there.
Baker too. Oh, interesting.
But a lot
Well,
of, like you mentioned, like cybersecurity, logistics,
Mhm.
manufacturing,
Mhm.
agriculture.
yeah,
I wonder
yeah.
where they pull all this information from.
So apparently there used to be multiple lists,
Mhm.
and this is like the first time we've had one unified list in the state.
Where are they getting these numbers from high demand lists?
Oh, I don't actually know.
Right. So who are they calling? Who are they talking to get the feedback of, I mean, a baker?
Yeah, I'm curious
Who in your
too.
community goes,
That would be Baker.
we're missing that, and
Yeah.
we're missing the butcher and the candlestick maker. But if you could fill all three of those, our town would feel complete.
I gotta go to the candlestick maker now. Okay, bye.
Sorry, that is one thing that shows up. There are too many booths. They need to limit, when you're doing an outdoor market, they need to limit the
The
number of
candles.
candle
Yes,
booths.
I
And
agree. I
how
agree.
much shit can you carve in wood with your laser?
No, that and
Whatever,
how
you know.
much can you crochet and turn into like outfits and pot holders and hats and clothes and
You remember the old macrame?
All right,
Thing,
can I
plant-
digress
plant
for like
hangers?
a nanosecond? I remember my dad in the 70s macrame. He was gonna macrame hammock.
Mhm.
He's like, yeah, okay, maybe that's a little too ambitious. I'm gonna do a plant hanger. Like it was the cat's meow. It was all that, had beads in it and the whole thing. And then it went away for a good, what, 30 years?
So the
And
branch
now,
up rug.
yes, exactly. Oh, I did those too. And now I see the macrame and I'm like, oh, I can't even. It's just
Well, it's because it's made of
the style. I just don't like the style.
The
It's just a
style.
little too.
Yeah, it's like, could we get some burlap twine to make those? Anyway, yeah, I want to know where the numbers are coming. Like,
I want to know too, because before they made this unified list, everybody's been waiting on this list for the past over a year.
Mhm.
And previously on the Technical College System of Georgia's website, there was like, I think 11 categories of high demand stuff, and film was on there naturally. But I looked at the film one, and being in the film industry, going through the pandemic, and then having a writer's strike, and then having another potential strike, I'm like, this is not in high demand. Like, there's no reason any kid should be studying film right now, and yet they still are. And but when they release this unified list, a lot of the film careers are not on there. So I'm like, they're talking to somebody.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're talking to somebody.
Well, there was a lot of false hope for that, I think, in the film industry. And you've been in it, I've been in it. You don't start in the upper level, or the upper echelon. I mean, that is an industry. You've got to love it. You got to have passion for it. And it's a grind. And when we were talking yesterday about the one gentleman who you're like, maybe we could get him on the show. And I'm like, he's been doing it a while, but he's got the moxie to move up. Like because it doesn't take a hell of a lot to be a stuntman, but you got to be able to get your foot in the door and you got to be good at what you do and everything else. But to move up to his level, you got to be able to schmooze and talk to folks, and that's where it comes into play. So it's like the film industry. You get your foot in the door, you start in the mailroom, you're an AD or an AP, a production assistant and stuff like that. And
I don't know if you want to get me started on that.
no, but I'm saying, am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. And
Okay.
I think that people think that the industry like just left Georgia. It's not going on anywhere. It might be going on a little in Vancouver, but it's not happening in LA. It's not happening in New York. It's not.
Yeah.
So it's not just Atlanta. But I do think that, I'm going to go on a tangent.
No.
It's an issue with the industry moving here, and the people here were cheaper to hire. And so they hired people in positions that they weren't qualified for, and they're inexperienced, and that has trickled down, and it's created chaos within the
Oh,
industry.
wow.
I think.
Okay.
My
Probably.
opinion,
Yeah.
just kind of from what I've witnessed, and
There's not a lot of pickings to choose from for that. But it is a lot of, it's a lot of somebody has to take a shine to you. You work hard and somebody recognizes that because you've been doing it for a while. And then they're like, hey, you know what? Why don't you come over and work for this department or this department. So it's a lot of diagonal moving up.
Mhm.
But,
And
but
unless
that's how you learn the industry.
Right.
Because I started putting fuel in people's cars and taking people's laundry in and getting lunches and doing that.
Yeah.
But I learned how production works with the art department, how the art department works with props, how props works with set deck. And I learned all of those things in the office. And then I moved up to coordinating, and then I understood how budgets work. I understood why we have to talk about with props, like which plates we're going to get and who's going to pay for it. And you sit down and have those conversations. And then you move into set dressing, and that you understand, you're less frustrated by things because you understand how everything works on the other side of it. But if you just pop in and you're a set dresser, you kind of like, there's a lot of griping about, well, why did they do it this way? Why did they do it that way? But like, there's a reason for it. You just don't understand because like you popped in at a mid-tier position, not at an entry-level position.
I would say that's true with any job. I'm, kind of still at this point in
You
my
got thrown
career.
into a new job a
Yeah.
year and a half ago and talked about it. It's like, you
Yeah.
sure you want to accept that position?
Yeah. I mean, there's still things I'm like, why are we doing it that way? Okay, well, that's how we're going to do it. And then I have to explain to the people that report to me, this is why we're doing it this way. There sometimes you're in a position for so long and it's at a certain level that you don't quite see the whole picture, right? And then it requires somebody else
You have
to explain it to you.
cantankerous individuals.
Yeah. Beyond.
But then the cantankerous individuals go back to LA or they retire because they just can't put up with the person who's like,
Right.
not getting it or doesn't
Yeah.
want to understand.
Right.
And that's the arrogance of the film industry in
Mhm.
particular, I think, where it's like, I know everything. Well, actually, you don't know anything. But
Yeah.
No idea what goes on, even just to get a green light, what it takes
To get there.
the
Yeah.
project green light.
So, back to perspective, like how
that.
do you or how do teachers or parents, or maybe it's perspective, like convey that sentiment through your videos? Like, hey, I might be a hostage negotiator, but I didn't just graduate from college and just walk into this role. Do you help temper that transition? Because let's face it, we all started at the bottom somewhere and have managed to figure out how to work our way up. I mean, I know very few people that got out of college like, I'm making six figures and I'm living large. It's this constant, scrap and scrape and, move around and,
As a plebeian such as you are,
Mhm.
and you have not been in front of the lens
Mm.
that Megan points at you and then had the interaction of a Q&A with her.
Okay.
Let's just say,
Okay. Like, tell me.
answer her damn question.
Tell me.
I thought you were going to. I was like, I cleared this question out of my brain because it's like, Darren got it.
Plebeian. Okay, I'm a
Yeah, I
plebeian.
got hung up
Explain
on
why. You call me a knuckle dragger?
I did not say that.
So, I'm just seeing how much time we have left.
No, you're not allowed.
You're not allowed. No,
Why?
because we'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there's just one
You're
thing I don't
done
want
when
to
you're
leave
done.
You've
Okay.
got plenty
You
of
got
time.
lots of time.
out. Okay.
No, but
Okay.
you do have a series of questions that you ask. And
Yes.
go ahead, answer it.
Oh, okay. So, thanks to the schools in Arkansas,
Mhm.
they have a thing. I'm sure many schools have this, but they specifically have certain, what do they call them? Competencies.
In Arkansas?
Yeah, so they have to go through certain things with their students. But one of the things they try to teach every year to all the students is like 10 character qualities.
Mhm.
It's self-reliance, it's integrity, it's honesty,
Okay.
it's work ethic, it's grit, it's all these things.
Yeah.
And what is
Sorry.
happening?
Sorry.
Show up on
You
time.
said
No.
10.
10?
10. Like the
Just
chanting
something.
command. We're in Arkansas. Just,
Oh my God.
they put two and two
And
together
there
on that
are
one.
10. I have to look at the list,
Anyway,
but it's
go
this
ahead.
great thing.
That's
There's a
awesome.
list of
Yeah,
character
that's great.
And so they asked me, they're like, well, do you have anything? Because in the interviews, the people like Chip, the FBI hostage negotiator, he talks about integrity and the
Mhm.
intense process to be qualified to even be an FBI agent.
Right.
And so I will go through, this is something I'm starting like a character qualities module.
That means
So that
Cool.
I'll have like integrity and videos about from the interviewees talking about why you have to have
Oh,
integrity, why you
okay.
have to have a work ethic.
Yeah.
Do you look good in the FBI windbreaker?
I never asked him about that.
You
We
should.
ran out.
I think that would be one of the
wildly
10
bummed. She's like, yeah. And I interviewed Adele too, of course, and she was amazing. And we just ran out of time. I had a lot more. I did ask him about aliens and the X-Files. I don't know if he was honest about it.
Check.
He
Probably
made
can't
something
be.
up.
He's
Yeah,
probably like,
he probably made
I can
something
only
up.
answer it
I
this way.
messaged him when the drones were in New Jersey because I was in New York. I was like, "What's up?" I'm
Oh.
like, "Aliens." He's like, "You're hilarious." I'm like, he knows something.
Do you know, I was in New Jersey the first week of January, and I had to drive from, I don't know, outside of Newark all the way down to the shore. And I said, it was dark. It was like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, that, if I could only see one spaceship, drone, something while I'm driving, nothing. It was so boring. I'm so disappointed. There was nothing there. Yeah, but that's great. I mean, because that's, as someone who has to interview and hire people for the company that I work for, is very specific skill sets and ethics concerns, ethics requirements. And that's interesting to hear that because I gotta be honest with you, it's like an immediate weed out process. We ask very specific questions about ethical behavior and what would you do in this situation? How would you handle it?
Really?
And there's
I
like
love this list.
there's like 8 categories that we ask very specific questions about, and they have to go through 4 group interviews just for the first round of interviews. And those questions are asked, and then we all confer and talk about what was the person's answer and how did they interact. And I gotta say, I mean, I look around me and we have some cantankerous people, but they're we're all kind of built the same.
I think some of that's level 1 flush out of your client.
Well,
Because
yeah.
I've been through those interviews where it wasn't actually the company. I think it was the pre-interview process.
Yeah.
And they ask you questions like that. And then it's all scored.
Mhm.
Like if your score is not above this, you're not getting the second
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, we do screen, and
right,
then when you
but
get to that interview, it's very intense.
that interview, it's like, okay, well, you walk into the office supply room and you need to get a pen. And you bring 2 pens back to your desk and you accidentally take one home.
Red swing line stapler.
No,
It's a hot commodity.
that is a big hot
Yeah.
commodity.
Mhm.
Let's not even go
It
there
is.
right now. But yeah, and it's like, do you bring the pen back? Do you let someone know that you took it home and then brought it back? Or do you just leave it at home and not say anything? And it's like, seriously, what kind of freaking...
My answer would be, I don't use pens and pencils. I only use my smart device and my computer.
But you don't get to choose that. It's like ABC. There is no E other.
But
Fill in the blanket.
But it's
But
like,
some of them are goofy ones like
yeah,
that.
they
It's
are.
like,
You
come
really trip
on.
you up. Yeah. But it's like, I also see the other side of, kids coming out of high school and college feeling that they're entitled, right?
Oh.
So, and I know you've had experience, Darren's had experience, like,
Don't get me started.
as part of the career exploration, how do you get them past that? Like, no, you're not going to earn $100,000 a year. You don't get a company car and a bonus. You're starting at the bottom with everybody else. So it's those kinds of things. And maybe that's too much for a middle schooler to grasp too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being humble and
Right. Yeah.
open-minded.
It's like I want to be a professional gamer. Like, oh, I want to be a gamer. If I do the tournaments and make this much money, or I want to be a YouTuber or whatever. And
No, I want to be a quarterback when I grow up, professional quarterback.
okay, how many teams are in
Yeah,
the NFL?
exactly. Yeah.
And
Can your
even
body handle it?
Even if you go through 3, let's do the math.
Mhm.
What, 26, 28 teams, right?
Yeah.
In the NFL right now.
Because I've heard that one before.
Darren, 28, we'll just say 28, and they'll be like, yeah, it's 26.
Mhm.
Might be off by 2 teams, but who cares? They suck. They shouldn't be in the league. Period. And then times 3.
Mhm.
So if you say 26 times 3
Yeah.
is
I don't know. I suck at math.
78.
Thank you. Yes, I just.
I'm
I
happy.
think.
and that's why you couldn't be an astronaut. Aerospace.
Or a meteorologist. See, that's what I want.
So-
I wanted to be an astronaut or a meteorologist, and like, they sit me down like, your math is horrible. I'm like, you know,
You couldn't be an Asian either.
I couldn't be an Asian. No.
Wait for your spirit. When it takes me a while to do math, I always say I'm only happy. People always laugh.
Lynn drives too good to be a a feeling.
Yeah, I am a pretty good driver.
I'm a great driver.
Are you?
It's the,
Okay.
it's the white side of me. Yeah.
It's the white side of you that helps.
Thanks, Dad.
We've talked about this before. You're not going to do random nails.
Oh, God,
We
that's
did,
right. We
we
did
did.
talk about that.
But if you, as a quarterback, if you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
7, 8 quarterbacks and they're drafting each year,
Mhm.
come on,
Yeah.
and look at all the Division I schools.
Right. Right. Nah,
It ain't
not
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen. No.
And back to perspective.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Perspective.
What do you got? So you're gonna ramp up the videos again based on this list of Georgia.
Yes.
Have you? That's your main focus, and I get it. Like any business, which is good, it's like tossing a pebble into the pond, right? Your focus is dead center, and then the rings start expanding outward. So that's good. Did you realize that you needed to like pull things back in? Were you trying to grasp at other areas before? Like I'll take any school districts that will take perspective, and then at one point you're like, whoa, hold on. Here's where I'm seeing things like falling apart. As you said, the district has bought this, but they're not implementing it correctly. They're not being able to launch it with the teachers right. And you found more focus when you can show up and kind of handhold these teachers in Georgia. Is that why you decided to concentrate more in Georgia at that time? And hopefully those rings will expand, the money will come in, and then you're like, well, I will fly to you to spend a couple of days with your teachers and bring bottles of Ernest and Julio for them to,
Mhm.
as we do implementation.
Sort of. So I have actually yet to hold anybody's hand. We normally do a Zoom teacher training. And so if the teacher is very engaged and very hands-on,
Mhm.
they got it. It's easy. It's like not even an hour training and they're good to go. The ones that are maybe they're busier, maybe they have other stuff they're using, whatever it may be. Those are the ones I kind of need permission to show up, but at least I am in the state and I have that opportunity.
Like you just said that it's easier to focus on Georgia
Yes.
because I can be in the
I can,
classroom right
yeah.
then, but
Yeah.
that's not happening yet.
Not yet. And I'm waiting to see because the ones in Muskogee County just got started this year.
Okay.
And then Carrollton Middle School just got started this year as well.
Excellent.
So it's pretty fresh here. But the reason Georgia, this is what I wanted to add. We are an official, I just got really happy. We are an official partner of the Charter System Foundation.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's
Great.
really cool. Perspective is on my website, on their website.
And the charter schools here are really strong.
But it's not a charter school.
Oh, it's not?
Wait till you hear this. Everybody thinks it's a charter school.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Charter System Foundation helps facilitate the charter systems in Georgia, but a charter system is a public school system
Mhm.
that signs a charter with the state to waive state regulations. And it allows the public school system to function with more autonomy and make decisions at the local level that best serve the students in their community.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
It's
Right
really
on.
cool.
That is really
It's super cool. So
Yeah.
there's, I think, 48 charter systems.
Huh.
See, if I had had a Cosmo, I never would have been able to say all of that.
Okay.
I think there are 48 charter systems
Mhm.
in the state. And
That's
so
quite a few.
it's a lot. And so
Mhm.
working with there's only 2 employees of the foundation. It's the executive director, Dan Weber, and the executive assistant, Pam Tomaj. And they're amazing. They're like my business parents.
Mhm.
And they have been coaching me, I would say, to keep perspective. Because I've been like glass blower, ice farmer.
Okay.
All these
Yeah.
things. And
All
I'm
these
like,
crazy
let's
things.
make it relevant to Georgia students. And
Yeah.
I've been on so many calls with them where, especially Dan, he's like, you got to keep it practical and realistic. And like,
Mhm.
what are these kids really going to do when they get out of high school? And that's
Yeah.
going to be best for the students.
Sure.
Mhm.
And while the weird stuff is great at a younger age, like when they get older, they need to,
Yeah. Yeah.
see what's realistic. And so they really encouraged me to go after the stuff that's relevant and high demand in the state.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just makes sense in combination with being able to go into these schools and have
Sure.
in-person conference. Like I'm driving to Putnam County, got moved to tomorrow. So I'm able to go there. I'm able to sit in person and talk with people
Yeah.
instead of over Zoom. I'm so done with Zoom.
I think we all are. Yeah.
Well, you just said what's more relevant, and you don't need to discredit those individuals who want that one-off
Yes,
type
we're
of
doing
career.
both.
Okay, so I know, but what you were just saying, and it's like, you can't discredit that one kid, and you've got to keep that in there.
Oh, yeah.
Because there might be that one person who's like, I want to be the next Michael C.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
I want to fold metal. I want to do
Well,
this.
and that's where I'm
Yeah.
so like
Yeah. Right.
mildly torn on this because yes, I agree. It has to be relevant. It has to be realistic, practical. I understand all of that. But my thing is, and the reason sometimes I think about like, why did I even start this? You know, like
Mhm.
what started all of this?
Yeah.
And I just want people to be happy. So
Right.
like at the end of the day, I'm like the overarching message, especially with the curriculum, is like your success isn't defined by your salary or your job title or any of that. It's defined like a rich life comes from having purpose and meaning and happiness on a day-to-day basis.
And healthy
And healthy,
financially,
family, like
yeah,
things
financially
that
secure.
matter.
Yeah. Right.
So like
right.
you can be financially secure and not be mega rich, and you can be mega rich and just be miserable.
And a total shit show with finances
Yes.
too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you're doing this for them, and I understand what they're saying for the charter system, you can, are you focusing on those types of careers, but still leaving that other cluster there? Because you kind of, I would think you would have to.
All the weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weird stuff is all going to be
Well, it's not
all throughout
weird.
it.
It's
That's
not
the
weird.
gateway.
Untraditional.
That's
Yeah.
the
Non-traditional.
gateway.
It's not
to get these
traditional
kids
because
interested.
there's that one parent out there who is like, I don't know what the hell my kid's gonna do, but I want them to move out of the basement
Mhm.
when they're old enough. Or they're just like, I have no idea. My child has no direction for anything at all. They're just like a spasmo all the time. And they might have ADD, they might have this or that. And all of a sudden they watch a video and they take an interest and they're like, I kind of sort of think I know what I want to do. There's a lot of chefs out there and people in the restaurant industry who just their brains are going, 90 to nothing all the time. They do have ADD, and you talk to them or they interview them, and they're like, man, as soon as I got in the kitchen, everything got quiet. I had focus, I had purpose, I knew what I was doing. My brain just stopped buzzing all over the place, and it's like, here's where I need to be. And so if you have things like that for those people,
You did this on the first one too. I thought he was moved by what I was doing, but then he also started this when he was talking about some strawberries he
You're-
had in Paris.
I know, but you're helping out a lot of people.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you are. I mean, you really are. I mean, I think about the adults that affected me growing up, and that it was a wide variety of people that I would have consulted with, just by observation. Really, is what it was for sure. Yeah,
Aaron, you make me feel like I'm doing something so important.
you are.
Thank you.
You
I
are
am. I
doing
feel like
something
I
so
am. You are.
important.
You
Yes,
are.
you're making a difference for sure. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. It's so hard.
It
This
is
so
hard.
It's so
It is
hard.
hard.
Like,
But you know what? You don't have someone necessarily breathing down your neck every day, like, where is it? Why isn't it done?
Oh,
The
yes,
bottom
she
line,
does.
the bottom line, the bottom line, the
It's
bottom
called their
line.
parents.
Oh, well,
It's like,
okay,
when are
that's
you
a
gonna
little-
make enough money?
that's a little
Actually, I
different.
don't think they want you to move out because they have a personal bartender.
I know. And that has declined significantly
Good.
since I quit drinking myself. So
Oh,
they're a little, my
Oh.
dad's getting more like, are your bags packed? He's not.
no.
There you go.
That's all she's
Yeah.
good for. It's just the drinks. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So where are you going now? What's like 2025? What's gonna happen with Perspective? I know you have some like definitive goals that you're trying to hit this year. What give us 2 or 3 of them.
The big one is I want to sell 100 schools.
I
Because
think you can do it.
I think so too. Even the feedback and the information I'm gathering, I just need more information. And the only way I get more information is to get more people using it. So I want to sell 100 schools. It's just kind of an arbitrary number, but sounds nice. And then I want to close a few more deals with the custom videos and work with the Charter System Foundation more, hopefully, to get the high demand career videos made and move into a van
By the river?
by the road, down by the road.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Tiny house. Just go for a tiny house.
No, but why would I not have a tiny house on wheels?
Okay.
You can buy a tiny house on wheels.
Called a van.
No, it's a truck, and then you pull the tiny house behind it. And that way, when you plant, you can actually, and if you want to go to town or something, you hitch it and go.
I have thought about that.
One personal goal for this year for you, what do you have?
Personal goal,
Mhm.
do a lot of climbing. I want to climb a lot. That's like the one when you talked about the chef and the
Right.
quieting the mind. That's what does it for me.
Do you find that, is it indoor or outdoors?
I would love to go outdoors. The first time I rock climbed, the first several times I rock climbed was all outside, and so to go to a gym, it's kind of like it's a necessity to hone that skill because I can't just climb in Peachtree City, you know. So
Yeah, our mountains here.
I know. I think I
It's a
actually
little
live
flat.
on top of the mountain.
Wow.
there. Yeah. It's just a little higher.
But it is good to, like you said, hone your skills. When I first started doing it, why am I so tired? The person's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just grabbing, pulling, and they're like, your legs are these massive muscles.
it's a tendency
You
to
should
only
do-
use your arms. I don't know
just-
why.
I know.
Yeah.
Just drag your legs behind. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah,
Just, like,
pretty
they were
much.
just not there.
And it was. It was just like, oh yeah. So actually, use your hands just to kind of keep you from falling off.
Balance.
Well, that's good. Where are you gonna go? We're gonna hold you to this now.
I'm probably gonna
one
go back to
mountain.
California.
Are you?
Go back to Bishop or Paradise, technically, hopefully.
We don't give locations.
Oh, well, that was when I was potentially getting sued last year, so it's fine now.
Yeah, if I
Oh, wow.
took out the long rifle and shot him
No,
at 1,000 yards.
no,
Oh, you
not
should see her
1,000,
face.
1,500.
Oh, okay.
Did I tell you he did file a lawsuit?
Yeah, I need to. Let's not even.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Well, that's good that you've got those. You have to balance, right? You still need personal time. All right, you look like Iron Man.
Something's up. She's all excited now.
Did I tell you about the meditation thing?
Oh, do tell.
Oh, I'm gonna do a Vipassana course.
Oh,
It's
really?
a 10-day silent meditation.
You think you can do it?
I think I can.
10
People say to like have somebody drop you off because you'll want to leave. Like
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
they wake you up at 4 a.m. and then you start meditating at 5 a.m. and you meditate for 11 hours every day,
Do you get to eat?
breakfast and lunch.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Steak and eggs.
Okay. It's vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Got it. Got to know because I went through a period of time when I became a yoga instructor that I was doing a lot of those kinds of things. And the longest I could make it, and it actually went really fast, was about an hour and a half, and it flew. But on days that I was really tired and I was sitting in a cross-legged position, I would start to fall asleep and fall forward, and I would smack my head on the floor.
I think that might happen to me.
So,
We'll see.
I'm just kind of wondering, like, hey, how's that going to go for you?
We'll see.
Okay.
I'm excited because they take my phone and that's it.
Just tune out for a while. Yeah.
10 days sounds.
Where's this going to happen?
There are 14 locations in the United States. I'd like to do the one that's near in 29th Polk, near Joshua.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
There's also one in Georgia,
Is there?
Jessup.
Okay.
Why is your face doing that, Darren?
He's just not into it. He doesn't
Just-
get it. Do you get it?
Just imagine like complete silence for 10 days.
Yeah, just tune it out. You're only tuning into like what you got going on. Your breath. That's it.
There's so much going on in this head. So what do you do any meditation now?
I do, yeah,
How often?
every day.
For how long?
10 to 20 minutes.
You don't even need, that's all it takes, really, right? And does it
But
seem to
imagine,
work?
it seems to work, but imagine with 10 straight days of 11 hours, like 110 hours. Imagine what that would do if 10 minutes a day works. I'm gonna come back a changed person.
I'm not even gonna say anything about that. I think it's stupid.
No, I think it's good.
It is, it is. You have to challenge yourself, so that is a good
I
challenge.
think it's gonna be a good challenge. That's my Minnesota for the year.
There you go. So
Would you? Well, a lot of
I do
people like
meditate.
that.
I meditate quite a bit. Like yesterday morning, woke up,
Sat there for a minute.
Linda's not there.
Mhm.
Went over, put on 5-minute morning meditation,
Mhm.
and then started my day
Nothing
before
nice.
the shit show started.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's always that.
but yeah, throughout the day, I'll stop in the middle of the day and just like, okay, we're gonna do just a little 5-minute breathing meditation, reset,
Yeah.
ground yourself.
I can
That's good.
almost time it. I don't even need to watch. It's about 2 o'clock every afternoon. I'm like, okay, hang on. Whoop, let me just shut off for 15, 20 minutes and just kind of
Like
regroup.
a 1 foot, 2 foot, or 3 foot bomb that you're hitting on.
Stop. No. God. It's
No,
an
but-
edible. I don't smoke.
The breathing meditation really does help, folks. And
It
that's a
does.
good thing. And I wish you well. If you come back a different person, we'll have a different conversation.
Yes, we will.
I'm just gonna have some dreads and some flowers in my hair.
It smells like patchouli.
Yeah.
Smell like a hell of a lot more, please, baby. Before you come see us in the podcast studio. You got anything else you want to talk about with this whole perspective that's been going? It seems like it's moving in the right direction.
I didn't realize how much in the right direction it was moving until like, I guess this year I sort of reflected on it in January. I
You
was like,
should
"Oh,
always, always
Yeah,
reflect,
yeah.
yeah.
I never take like, you're so busy working. You don't usually take the time to be like, look how far I've
You got to give yourself a high five because if nobody else is there, you give yourself a high five. So I did that. Woohoo.
That was a good
That's
one.
great.
gone."
And you're making videos for folks. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. We wish you well.
Thank you.
10 days, really.
Yeah.
10 days isn't 7. So there's going to be one day when we're not going to see you here as our bartender.
Well, if I do the one in California, like you're probably not gonna see me for.
Okay.
And
I
during
can
that
remake
period,
them.
She's
here's
going
the thing,
underground.
folks. Guess what? You won't hear any advertisements from Perspectiv. No, we're kidding. We love you. We wish you well. Enjoy. Thank you for being a sponsor of the show. Glad to see the progress. This
Thank
is
you.
good business.
Thank you. I'm really excited. I'm worried about what the back of my head looks like when I was talking to Lynn this whole time.
That's why we
Mm.
put you there, though,
Mhm.
instead, because if you were on the end, all you would have seen
See
is
the
the
back of our heads. Yeah.
our heads. So we tried to move you. You get the back of mine, and it doesn't matter. Lynn, what else you got? Anything?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Megan,
Thank you.
where do people find
Oh, get perspective without an E at the end.com.
Get Perspectiv without the E.com? Awesome. Lynn, you will be back. Oh,
Not
no,
next
you won't.
week. No,
You're
2
missing it,
weeks.
and I'm so
Two-
sad.
I know, I heard. Yeah, I know.
Good
Your next guest.
We got Tommy filling in next
Mhm.
week. He
Thank
does
you,
a
Tommy.
dynamite job. Folks, I'll tell you what, if you enjoy this episode, share it with somebody, okay? There's probably a lot of people out there who are looking for careers. You don't have to be a child. You don't have to be a teenager. There's adults looking for it as well. So share this episode with them. Share a different episode that strikes a good chord with somebody that you know. Hopefully you bring a smile to their face, and we'll see you next week.
Yay!
Very good.
Thank you, guys.